New Belgrade side of the Belgrade waterfront. The Danube Riverside is what's going to go in there, which I'm sure is going to be really high-end living. High-end living is nice, you know, got all the latest stuff, and if it's not built cheaply, which some people say it is, but if it's not, then you can live real nice. But if it is built cheaply, then that takes a lot of that niceness away. But it's not as, I don't know, I want to say quaint, but I like the old buildings. Maybe because I'm older. I mean, I'm 57 this year in August. I remember when my dad was 55, and I thought, man, you're an old dude. And I lost a lot of my friends. In my life, I've known many people that were close to me that died, and nearly all of them died over some type of substance abuse. But, I mean, who's to say that they would have even lived that long without it? Maybe the substance that they were abusing is what kept them alive as long as they were. In any sense, if you believe in pre-birth planning, which I do, we have exit points, and depending on our free will, I mean, you can't escape the exit. You can reach your final destination, but you really can't escape the exit. Unless you're the Count of Saint Germain. Because it seems like he's still around today. So this is some muddy path here. I don't have any fenders, so I'm going kind of slow. There's these two pretty young girls eating their lunch. What's funny is when you're 8 years old, they would have been old to me. And when you hit like 16 or so, they would be contemporaries. When you're 16, somebody who's in their 20s feels so much older, and if they're 30, oh my god, they're like ancient. When I was younger, I felt that so much, that age difference. Age, you know, between people doesn't matter so much if they're on the same page, if they're on the same wavelength. But if they're not, or if there's other complications, it does add possible discrepancies. No, 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 no. So I'm going to go into that park over there, and I'm going to ride along the river and show you guys what the old town looks like from across the river. So far my channel has been me shooting absolute raw video with no editorial whatsoever. And I could say maybe that's a little bit about laziness, but nah, I wouldn't be so adamant about it. Because honestly, I worked at Warner Brothers. I know how to do editorial. I worked in post, as well as production for that matter. But I do it mainly because it's really authentic. Raw video is authentic. As soon as you're starting to make a montage, add some music, it takes away from the authenticity, and immediately, for me, I go, oh, I smell a rat. And maybe because I really, truly understand media manipulation. Man, I lived it. I absolutely lived it. You know, I got to, there's a man I admire very much. He's a very powerful man. His name is Barry Meyer. He was the CEO of Warner Brothers for a long time. Probably, I mean, the lion's share of my 26 years there, he was the CEO. Super nice man. And I was fortunate enough to work for him in a capacity where I designed conference rooms, and because of that, I built the finest ones for him, me and my team. And you know what? Look, before I go on with my story, let's just take a look here. So that's what's happening here, huh? This was the Yugoslavia Hotel. Now it's going to be the Danube Riverside something or other. Anyways, Barry Meyer, he was the CEO of Warner Brothers. It was fascinating for me to get to be in the same room with him when, you know, Warner Brothers was having meetings, really super important meetings. Look, so these are splavs down here. This is where I guess they moved them to. That used to be closer to the city center. But you know, I got to be there in the same room, forwarding slides, PowerPoint slides, or whatever I was doing. But I got to hear all these, you know, the highest level of business talk for the most powerful entertainment company in the world, Warner Brothers, which I have nothing but fond memories of. Basketball court. was going with that exactly. Other than you know, it's amazing at that level of business. It was fascinating watching it happen. I was there when they made the deal with Universal to put the Harry Potter ride in. They tore down a stadium, you know, where they used to have concerts, to put the Harry Potter ride. And I used to hear them talk about EBITDA and EBITDA, which at the time I had no clue what that was. It's like pre-tax profits. So I think where I am here is where, this might be the Sava, or maybe this is the Danube and it's going to merge with the Sava, which happens around here. So one thing that happened to me when I was working at Warner Brothers, and I was around these people like Barry Meyer. Barry Meyer at the time, this is the 1990s and the 2000s, early 2000s. And he was making $35 million a year. Can you imagine? That's a lot of money back then. And he got stock options. And actually, Barry Meyer moved on to, he's on the board of the International Monetary Fund. I mean, that's not because you're stupid or anything like that. And I actually watched him, you know, reconciling his checkbook on his desk, which was fascinating for me. I was thinking, man, Mr. Meyer, you know, has to make sure that he doesn't overspend. What happened to me being at that level, because honestly I was doing super well for somebody my age, but it started going to my head. Too much so it went to my head. Every day I'd pass by these cars that cost, you know, $100,000, $200,000. There'd be like a row of them, like 30 in a row. God, you know, maybe I'm not doing so good. It's all perspective. Had I, you know, been mature enough not to let that bother me, I'd probably still be there now. But that's not what I was trying to learn, I guess. Speaking of pre-birth planning. Because, you know, having a lot of money does not equate to happiness. There was many, many millionaires' homes in Beverly Hills, you know, servicing their cinema, their home cinemas. And none of those homes felt good to me. Geez, see that? Dog barking. Chasing that one. He's not chasing me. Oh, that one's only got 3 legs. So, I am a Leo sun sign and an Aquarius moon sign. That's the exact opposite of Leo in the zodiac. So that makes it to where I have internal conflict. And it's interesting to me that first half of my life I experienced a lot of hard work, but a lot of reward. You know, monetary reward. Although what I was missing in life, I was missing the people. Actually, I was missing a good female relationship. It's a really difficult thing to achieve in Hollywood. I worked so much. I mean, I would go to work, be there at 8 a.m. and never did I leave before 6, because that was my hours, 8 to 6. But 8 to 8 was way too common, and sometimes 8 to 10, even 8 to 11, and working Saturdays. It was a lot of work. So I'm not opposed to hard work, physical or mental for that matter. And my job at Warner Bros. Was a nice combination of the both, you know, because things were not light. We would have to, you know, bring giant projectors places and install everything and rip it all out. Alright, so this is where the two rivers come together. And see these splavs here. These are party splavs in restaurants. These are discos. This is where I wanted to see though. This is the view of the. Hold on, let's go down here. This is the view of the Cala Magdin, which is a fortress. Uh-oh. Camera's slipping off my head. I have too much hair. My hair doesn't allow this band to stay on. It's constantly pushing it off. So this water has a kind of a funky smell. It's probably because of those birds. That's what I blame it on. But see, can you see that over there? So yesterday I rode over there by those apartments, or I walked, should I say. And this is the Cala Magdin here, and then you can see the city over there. And that steeple you see there, that spire, that's an Austrian built church from the Ottoman Empire. And the Cala Magdin, this fortress, was started in, I think it's like 290 BC? Maybe it's AD, but a hell of a long time ago. It's very fascinating. So anyways, fact that my first part of my life, I got to enjoy, earthly, material things. Not overly so. It was always a struggle to keep those things. But I did. I got to enjoy that. Now at this part of my life, I feel like I'm heading towards a more spiritual journey. Let's see, we're gonna probably ride over here where it's not so bumpy. There's a splab over here that's sunk. It's been in this like half sunken state for the last 2 years at least. We're fishing here. It's actually kind of a nice boat. Looks like it goes fast. It's got this like little trolling motor. So I think the plan here is that I'm gonna go across this bridge that's in front of us.